It started out like any other job. Hit the planet, rip the rocks, go home and get paid. But this time, we dug too deep, woke something up. And now, we're just trying to survive long enough to get out of these beasts' hive.
You know, I tend to consider myself a pretty reasonable person. I don't tend to go about making over-the-top comedic statements of unreasonableness just for jokes in videos. But I was carrying on through my daily, normal Quincy Morris life when I found out that one of you people had the nerve to be bad at Xenoshift. Now, I'm not going to name any names, but what is the one thing I have been saying, other than never discard heavenly hosts? It's don't be bad at board games. Well, you guys are being bad at board games again. What am I going to have to do to stop that? Well, obviously make a video on Xenoshift. For those of you who don't know, Xenoshift, one of my favorite games. I never really even thought of it as a board game. I only ever played this game on iPhone. It's absolutely phenomenal. I would honestly suggest the iPhone version of this game. There's a whole lot going on. I'm not really going to teach the basics because, again, people are bad at the game and just not understanding interactions. Now, one of the fun things about Xenoshift is there's a whole lot to talk about. And every single game is totally different depending on what equipment you're able to purchase. It's one of my favorite things in a game where it's this puzzle that they give you. It's like, okay, survive. These are the tools that you have. Can you do it? Yes, you can. So, let's go. There's this... Oh, yeah, I'll just start a new one. We don't need to play my other one. We will leave those people to die. Because, apparently, I'm playing with a bunch of babies who are bad at games, we're gonna go on normal. Yes, you all should feel ashamed and as failures in life because you cannot beat an alien fighting card game. That's just sociology right there. I don't have all the expansions because honestly, these are the two good ones. I've played all of the expansions to an extent. I'm not a big fan of Dreadmire, for reasons I don't have time to get into. But the base game with the Hive expansion and the Nortec Elite, especially the Nortec Elite, really makes the game really good. So we'll play with that. We'll play on normal because again, we're playing at as what Dunkey would call baby o'clock. But that's okay. Everyone has to start somewhere. When you're playing one person, which another baby o'clock thing to do is just add a bunch of divisions and play as a bunch of players. The game gets much, much easier the more factions you're playing as. To the extent that it becomes, like, almost impossible to lose. Since you're mostly going to be playing solo, I think the best way to play it is to play it solo. And when you're playing solo, basically you kind of have to pick the command center. I mean, if you want to go super easy mode, you can go Science Lab, but at that point, you're just... I mean, you might as well not be playing the game. You're just using the Science Lab and winning because you're going Science Lab. We'll go Command Center, also because Command Center is the most, like, normal of the sides, in the sense that it's not shifted towards only weapons, or only armor, or only medicine, or only troops. You know, Command Center is more balanced, and so we'll be able to show you guys more of the game doing that. So, we'll go ahead and start a normal game. Yeah, this is a really fun game. One of my favorites. So the first thing we want to do is we want to look at what we have. We don't have the satchel charge thing, which can cancel reveal effects, which is pretty bad. So we'll have to sort of work around that. We do have pulsar armor, which is good. Now, since we're playing as the command, if we look at this, at the beginning we start with 2 available item cards of 3 or less. So is there anything on here that's 3 or less that we particularly want? This is okay. I'm not a huge fan of the Vindicator armor. I like something a little more reliable. Hawkeye gun emplacements are really good early. Now, the thing about this game, one of the many great things about this game, is that it scales actually really well. You really have to constantly be playing the game. Sometimes you can be getting into a steamroll situation where the final 2 turns are just like, haha, kill all of the aliens. And that's fun. I will say the hardest turns are 2 and 3. That's where I die the most. So getting an early lead, often in these kind of games, it's like, oh, I want to build up my economy so I can build up and win in the late game. No, winning in the late game is pretty easy. You want to build up an early lead, and one of the best things for building up the early lead is the Hawkeye gun emplacement. So I'm going to grab 2 of those.
Acquire your resources.
Because the Hawkeye gun emplacement... Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, there is a deck building mechanic in this game. This is not what I would classify as a deck building game, which is part of the reason I like it, because I actually don't really like deck building games. So the fact that I, a person who tends to not like deck building games, actually really likes this game, you guys should check that out. So the Hawkeye gun emplacement is once per round you may deal 2 damage to a revealed, that's important, revealed enemy. There's just something comforting about having a big gun between the enemy and you. Always read the lore text. One thing I don't like about Fury of Dracula is they removed all the flavor text, which makes me a sad Morris. So we have 5 money, and what do we want to get? Now, I only have 1 man, so we will probably want to buy a ranger. That makes sense to me. Let's see, I could buy a ranger, ooh, and then I could get 2 sets of armor. That's okay. This armor lets you basically control which enemies you fight, but you really have to be in a good situation, because if you have nothing out there, then just knowing what you're going to be attacked by doesn't actually help you at all. Now the problem is, if I were to buy a ranger and then buy this, I wouldn't be able to use the discount. I get a discount of 1 per turn, and you want to try to maximize that, although... Oh wait, yes I can, because I can buy this guy. Then I can use the discount on the Hawkeye gun emplacement, and now I have 1 extra to buy the bioenhancers. Bioenhancers are actually very, very good. There's a whole lot of times when you need just 1 more health or 1 more combat to help you out, and the fact that it lasts till the end of the round, really, really good. It keeps them in the fight long enough to fight. That's all we need. Medbay. Oh wait, the medbay shouldn't have been in the voice. Okay, so this is a reasonably good setup for the first flop.
Troops ready for
We
deployment,
will...
Commander.
I'm so used to playing on hard, I don't even know what it does to make it easier. We have 15 HP, which just feels like so much. So let's see what we have here. We have the militia. Inducted for life, the militia make up the core of Nortex military. Okay, if they're inducted for life, that's not militia. That's like a reserve or a conscript. People don't understand what words mean. Ranger. Field promotions are easy to get. All you have to do is survive. Yeah, that makes sense. So 4 damage is a little overkill. I don't really think there's anything except for bosses that aren't killed by 3 or more damage in the first flop. One thing about winning this game consistently is you basically just have to know what all the enemies are, which is part of the reason why the Hive expansion is so good, because it adds more enemies, which adds more challenge.
Warning,
and I love being
Xeno
challenged.
life forms detected.
So what you mainly want to be doing in XenoShyft is you want to be trying to make each man take out 2 guys, and you want to be netting benefits. Because this first round we're going to fight 3, next round we're going to fight 4, and then the final round we're going to fight 5. That's really rough. Now we don't have anything to deal with any reveal effects, so if we get one of those like ambush spiders that just appears and kills some of your guys, that's going to be a problem. Okay, so we got tunneling worms. So normally tunneling worms would be a problem right here. What they're going to do is they're going to deal their damage to both. If I had a bunch of militia, this would be pretty bad. Now 1 damage will kill this guy, and that is what the bioenhancer is for. We play this, we up it up, he won't die, and these broodlings will wear. The skittering never drowns out the screams. Well, you are going to be drowned out by gun. So, he did take the damage, which is unfortunate. Oh, there it is, an ambush larva. First 2 troops, oh gosh, yeah, so that's gonna just kill all of my guys. Which is unfortunate. Ambush larva, I think, are the hardest thing to deal with early. But we can use the Hawkeye gun emplacement. So we can at least kill this thing. Unfortunately, we can't use this one on this guy because it can only attack revealed things. So we will take some base damage. We'll see what we take. Ooh, 4 damage. Normally, if we were playing on hard, that would be quite a problem. But we're playing on easy, or on medium, which is basically easy. And so it won't be any problem. Okay, what do I want? Do I want to hold on to a Hawkeye gun emplacement? So there's a few different things that I could do here. I could go for 2 of these pulsar armors, or I could go for 1 Titan armor. I'm a pretty big fan of Titan armor myself. This is a experimental thing. So one of the things the Nortec expansion does is it adds a super version of a card in every single deck, which isn't really a buff because it's more expensive. Like if I really wanted the Bioenhancer, the normal Bioenhancer, I could just buy it. I have to buy this experimental one. So what do I want to be doing? Do I want the Titan armor, or do I want... I think I do. I think I am going to go for the Titan armor. I think a big boost like this early can be good, and it will mean that that militia will likely survive, he said ominously.
Troops ready for deployment, Commander.
Now, I haven't seen any Necro Stingers or those Worm Host things, so the question, of course, always becomes, where do we want to put this stuff? And there's an argument either way. I think I'm going to go with this. As much as I like getting the elites out, the elites are more fun, and you know, if they happen, they happen. To get an elite, you have to have a guy do a fight and then survive, and not already have the elite of that faction. So let's see what we get here. A Shield Swarm. Not a problem because our damage is so ridiculous. A Smoker. Yeah, that'll be... So the actual problem that the Shield Swarm is going to do is that it's going to make our gun emplacement not very good. Although, see to what extent... Oh my gosh. See, normally this would be a problem, but because our damage is so ridiculous, it's not going to be unless this ends up being something really bad. And it is not. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna do this fight twice. And then we're gonna do the fight again. And each time, you know, it's like magic. I shouldn't have to explain that. I think I can have these combined and then use the Hawkeye gun emplacement, but I could be wrong here. In the event that that isn't how it works, we will take 1 damage, which is not bad. So that dies. Yeah, I can't use the Hawkeye gun emplacement because of the timing window. I don't get a timing window to use it. So this will trigger. We'll only do the 1 damage. This will trigger and will kill this guy, so he will stop buffing the Shield Swarm. So the Shield Swarm will only do 1 damage. So I would say things are going bad at this point. If we were playing on hard,
your resources.
we would be halfway to dead right now. But and hard is hard. So like if you're having trouble winning on hard, hard is hard. It should be, and that's why I like it. I like hard games. We want to grab. We're basically going to have to grab a ranger. Then I think we could grab armor. No, let's grab a gun and a Bioenhancer. Yeah. These guns are just really good, and Bioenhancers I'll never say no to. So how many do we want?
Ready for deployment, Commander.
How do we want to deploy? Keep the militia in a reserves type of situation. Go with this. I feel pretty good about this. Well, actually, I'm actually going to swap this. Well, I was thinking, actually, hold on. So, an ambush larva, we want it to ambush this thing and not this thing. Something like a worm host would be fine, because we could just shoot it. And I guess, yeah, I'm going to go with this, because there's quite a few interactions of the militia being able to beat something with a 1/1 upgrade, so we'll go with that. Yeah, see, if this were hard, I'd be fighting an extra guy, but I'm not, because we're playing on normal. Okay, that's each time this enemy kills a troop, burn that troop and deal the base 2 damage. So this isn't that bad, for a couple reasons. The main reason is because we actually want to burn our militia at this point. It will do 2 damage, which can't really be avoided. I think we'll use our Hawkeye gun emplacement to ensure the kill here. We will lose the militia and we'll take 2 damage, which is bad. But that was the boss. And you're going to fight a boss. It's really good we didn't get the boss, which just summons a whole new wave of guys. That one is totally unfair and easily the worst boss in the entire game. And I would say the worst card in the entire game, given the power level. Okay, this guy's going to go to the back. Hopefully that won't be a problem. We'll see. Ooh, we will get an elite here. Excellent. I'll just go ahead and play this now. Give him an upgrade. And this is the perfect time that you want to get an elite. Because often when you get elites, it's like, well, this guy's already so good. Do I really want to swap him out? Well, this time, I absolutely want to swap him out. Because he's at 1 health. I'll promote him to Sergeant Hunter Killer Bishop, which means he resets. Now, usually I discard these, and I will discard this. This is so good, I'm going to hold on to it. I mean, that's 4 money. But I like drawing more money,
Warning.
so I'll hold on to those. Yeah, we don't have a ton of money here.
Use of advanced
Now, because we're playing as command, we get to
authorized.
draw an extra card, which is so good. Oh my gosh, that ability is just the best. Now, one thing about this game is that you start to reach a sort of critical mass, or not critical mass, you have whatever the reverse of that is, when an exponential return on investment when it comes to Stormtroopers. So I'm a fan of spamming Stormtroopers, especially when you're using the Hawkeye gun emplacements. Now, if we didn't have Hawkeye gun emplacements, that might change things, and we might want to... Oh, man. Oh, this is really good. Yeah, because we could get an armor. Now, I could also get this. Let's card. That's an interesting choice. Both add 4, and I prefer the armor because these guys can tend to like clog up an area. The other thing we could do is for something a little more conservative, like getting this pulsar armor. We have a lot of good options. When you have a lot of good options, it's good. This prototype gun, I'm not a huge fan of because it doesn't actually do direct damage. So it can be tricky to use. Increase that damage by 2 and then deal 2 damage to the next enemy in the lane. It does combo well with our Stormtroopers. This becomes a problem when it's like, okay, this increases the amount of damage something takes. I actually don't have anything that deals direct damage. I'd much rather get the thing that actually deals the direct damage, which is what this is. This is, you know, the upgraded version. Now, it is cool that it is doing 2 damage and then an additional 2 damage. But yeah, these I'm not a huge fan of. Prevent 2 damage from an enemy reveal ability and then deal 2 damage to that enemy. So some of the reveal abilities are bad. That deal damage. A lot of them are other things that you want to cancel. So it's really not all that helpful. So many good options. Let's go with a classic approach and just hit points and damage. Just hit points and damage.
Troops
Now,
ready for deployment.
Hunter Killer
Commander.
Bishop, and maybe it was a mistake to do this because Hunter Killer Bishop is just going to get like obscene amounts of damage because every time an enemy is killed in this lane, he gains that W means the phase that we're in, or the wave that we're in. We're in wave 2. When you get to wave 2, you start being able to use the good items. Wave 3, you start getting these mechs, and that's really cool. So every time an enemy dies, he's going to gain 2 power, and so by the time it becomes his turn, he's going to have some absurd amount of damage and just be able to kill people. It's only death, don't take it so seriously. I don't know why I made him Dutch, or whatever that accent is, but,
Warning. Xeno life
you know,
forms
I don't have a lot of
detected.
good accents. Ha ha, I have no good accents. So let's see how this goes. Okay, when this enemy is killed, the next enemy in the lane receives a 2-2. Alright, that is fine. We'll just take that. We have a lot of health because we got all that armor. And then we can save our direct damage for whatever these next things are. Now, he gets upgraded. That's 7 damage, and if he kills a guy, upgrades happen. So yeah, let's go ahead and use all of our guns to kill this monster. It is going to cost all of them. Unfortunately, you really don't want to use these like this, but if he dies, I don't get to use the abilities anyway, so I might as well do it. Oh, and he'll survive. Excellent. Each time this enemy kills a troop, well, it's not going to kill a troop. Medical report. 10 new infected. Expected to survive rate 0%. I don't know. Plague flies are actually not that bad. Of the things to face, they're pretty low on the totem pole in terms of how dangerous they are. As long as you don't die, you don't die. Ooh, I can level this guy up too. The question is, do I want to? And I think I do. You know, he was injured. Now these buffs, all of this stuff, it's going to go away because it's only until the end of the round. So the way I see it, an individual card, the best it can be is 3 Xenoshyft. So So I might as well keep all of this. Yeah, so I will.
Acquire your resources.
Now this, well first, before you do anything, always draw your card. You always want to have as much information before you start making decisions. That's just a general idea. What does this do? Once per round. Oh, this is just a better version. This troop may attack. It suffers 3 damage. Okay, yeah. So this is. Oh, yeah. It's just a better version. It's one of the few examples of when the prototype is literally just an upgrade. But I think that makes sense because it's so expensive, and you know most of them are side grades to an extent. But this one's just an upgrade. So the question is, what do we want? I kind of love the heroic medic. So if there's a way that I could get the medic out, I would very much be into that. You can use it. You can basically promote these guys to like, okay, I'm promoting this guy to a stormtrooper, so you spend them to reduce the cost. You can't combine that, so it's like they're no longer fighting. This guy's no longer fighting on the front. He's just reducing the cost of things by going back to base, so to speak. That's cool. I like that, and it's you know, it's a very simple deck building type of mechanic. Or I can keep him and get a medbot. Anytime you're like, well, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this, that's a sign that things are going well. I think I will go for a stormtrooper. Now, there is a weakness to going for stormtroopers early, and it does limit your effectiveness in the late game. Because like going paratroopers early, for example, totally helps you in the late game because paratroopers can be played from your hands. You don't have a situation where it's like, okay, I have a bunch of stormtroopers out in the field. I really want to deploy these really good guys, and I can't. That doesn't happen if you go paratrooper. But it can happen if you go stormtrooper or medic. But you know, get over it. So we have that. We have room for one more guy. I think it's better for us to get some nice upgrades. Let's see. He has armor. He has armor. So I can afford one more armor. I think I'll just go for this and the... Yeah, sometimes you don't have to make things overly complicated. And I'm a fan of overbuying individual things so that you can... Because when you buy a whole stack, you get a new stack, and there's a lot of value in that.
Troops ready for deployment.
I will say the jump from 2 direct damage to 4 direct damage is pretty significant because in Phase 2, there's a whole lot of things that take 4 to kill. There's very few things that take specifically 2 to kill. So these two guys are similar. This guy is, each time one of your guys dies, you deal 2 damage, which I think makes him the worst heroic unit. Sometimes I actually prefer a Stormtrooper. The reason I took the upgrade is because the Stormtrooper is super injured, and he does technically have better stats. So yeah, we'll do this. I kind of want this guy to stay alive more, so I'm going to give him the stuff. Although, yeah. No, that's fine, that's fine. So, yeah, that's good. That gives us pretty decent stuff. Now, reveal effects are still going to be a problem.
Xeno life forms detected.
I don't think we have any guys. We have no units in the discard pile, so all of the things are like, haha, your unit from the discard pile becomes an enemy. Okay, let's see. First troop in this lane takes 3 damage. Yeah, we'll just take that. I mean, it would be nice if we had something that can counter that, but we don't, so we won't. Since this won't kill him, we'll just let it happen. Yeah, you want to hold information is a really big thing in this game. Like, I could have killed that guy with abilities, but it could be that this card is the one. This could be one of those centipedes where using the Hawkeye gun emplacements is really, really good. So you always want to save your things. Add the first troop in this lane's power to this enemy. Okay. So this guy's pretty bad. Now, I think I can kill this guy beforehand, unless I have the... Unless I'm wrong about this. And if I am, it's fine, because this is still a pretty good use of these abilities. Yeah, so he just dies before he gets to use the reveal ability. The effect still goes off, and this guy is scared and runs away. But, yeah, that kills him. So now Hunter, this guy is able to do things, which is great. Now, this is the sort of situation that I was talking about that can be really, really bad, because, like, we have this really weak Stormtrooper, and we really don't want to, like, discard him, you know, because that would be a waste. We spent all this to get him out there. It's better to keep him out. If we get into the late game and this guy's still out, he's kind of building up a slot. But it's kind of a first-world problem situation. Okay, Butcher. Its only purpose is to kill. This enemy deals its damage to the first 2 troops, and it cannot be prevented. Okay, so this is sort of an anti-medic card. We don't have medics, so it doesn't matter. And these guys are super high health, so they do not give any amount of cares. Hunter Killer has been analyzing the enemy this whole time. His combat is a huge amount. Yeah, he has like these trophies and stuff. Okay, the Quill Beast. Quill Beast will kill this guy, which, you know, not a lot we can do about that. I mean, we could shoot him, but that's not going to do anything. I will use the Bioenhancer just to heal him. Oh, I could have used it to save him. Can I undo that? Nope. Can't undo it. Oops. Yeah, okay, see, that was a mistake. I should have used it here, because the Quill Beast will do him 1 damage. But I messed up, so we will still keep our 2 heroes out, which is nice. And when, now he has the ability to kill stuff, but he can't because there's no... Yeah, this is the worst hero. But Stormtroopers are very likely to become heroic, so there's a reason for that. There's a reason why the militia hero is so good. Or the paratrooper hero is so good. Because, you know, they have low health, it's very unlikely that they become heroes. Okay, I'm not going to discard any of those guys. Those are good.
Resources.
We get a lot of money, which you'll love to see. So yeah, we have, unless something really bad happens in the 3rd phase, which it can, we have won this. So let's see. Yeah, but don't get cocky. You'd be surprised how easy it is to die. So we have armor here. We have a gun and armor for somebody. So we should buy a person. I'll get a paratrooper. Because again, you know, late game, it's good. I know what insta troops are. Game. I don't need you to tell me. Okay, so we already have its equipment. Now the thing about paratroopers is you can play them from your hand mid-game, which is a way to avoid reveal effects. It's like reveal. First troop in the lane takes damage. Well, I don't have any troops. They're all paratroopers. So that's resolved. Then you play the paratrooper to attack. That's a thing you can do. The question is, what do we want to buy? We kind of have all we want. I think I'll get that medbot. Yeah, I feel good about this. I feel like this will have no bad lasting consequences. This is not that great. When this troop attacks, it deals double damage. Yeah, that's not very good. Now, the funny thing about the medbot is that you can give it a gun. And armor, even. Which is a little silly. Although I also kind of love it. I'm not going to do it here. Is his health? Oh, yeah, he doesn't technically have health. And if he takes any damage, if he's attacked once, he dies. But that doesn't mean you can't put a gun in the little robot's hand and be like, say hello to my little friend and all that. Looks like I kind of have to go with this. Unless I want to, like, get more paratroopers, but... you don't want to overbuy guys, especially when you're playing one player. When you're playing them like with a big group, you can be like, I'll buy all the guys and throw them in somebody else's lane. Which is why it's so much easier when you're playing with the big group. But I'll grab these 2. These are both reasonably good. Unless, actually, it's probably better to get 2 of these. Yeah, this is actually better than 1 med pack, because this prevents 2 damage. This adds 1 HP and 1 power, so 2 of these is actually better than 1 med pack. It does fill up my hand, but I don't mind these things filling up my hand. They're really
Troops
good.
ready for deployment, Commander.
So this guy, I think we're actually going to have it be like this, because there are things that will attack the back line, and we really don't want our bot getting... Actually, no, because we have the paratrooper, we don't need to worry about that. Yeah, so we'll go with this. And then, if something bad happens, we can drop our paratrooper in to protect either flank. Haha, paratrooper is good. Now, it's going to complain because I'm not playing stuff, and I'm just going to be like, you know, chill. I can play these things
Xeno
as
life
a
forms detected.
deployable. Now, we will fight a boss here, so we'll see how bad that goes. Here's the boss. Oh, it's the first thing. It's not always the first thing. Reverse the order of all troops in the lane, then deal the first 2 troops in the lane 3 damage. Well, there goes our medbot. That's unfortunate. Although, we can actually save this thing because... Check this out. If the troop... Oh no, I thought it was if it ever attacks. Yeah, if it ever suffers damage, and so it would suffer damage. So even if we buffed it up with these, it would still technically suffer damage, and then it would still die. So the question is, I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna play this guy with both of these. So they'll reverse the order, and it'll hit him. And that's not the worst. Oh, and one fun thing is that when this guy dies, Grim Reaper is going to shoot at him, which is fun. So we'll just let that happen. And this guy's getting ready to shoot, so we don't really need to here. Although I'm afraid of a bad reveal effect hurting us here, but I ain't that afraid. Okay, what is this? If there's a troop in your discard pile, place the top troop in your discard pile in front of the enemy lane, and discard this enemy, and that troop gains 2/2. That's actually not so bad, because it's going to be the medbot. Oh, is this not considered a troop? Oh, it's not! No, this isn't a troop, this is an equipment. Ah, yeah. Okay, so we could just, like, kill this guy, but I think what we're going to do is maybe use all 3 of these. And that'll get him to 7, so he doesn't die. There's some other... This enemy gains +1 power for each troop in lane when it is revealed. Lasher Worm. Scatter! Didn't put a lot of work into that lore text, but what are you gonna do? Okay, so he'll survive. We'll take out this guy, which is good. Now, this guy, I think we just shoot him. Yeah, let's just shoot the guy. That seems like a good decision. Because if he dies, I'm not going to be able to use it. You always want to try to use all of your abilities every turn. Now, some equipment abilities have to discard. The great thing about the Hawkeye gun emplacement is that it doesn't discard. You get to just keep using it. See. Now, of course, it would have been better if we had held on to them to kill this thing, but that's fine. I mean, we wouldn't have been able to. This guy would have died, and we wouldn't have had that, so... We're going to kill this thing, and... Yeah, now he's going to come back with 2 health. But because of Sergeant Deckard, he gets to do 2 damage and kill him immediately. Okay, alright. I take it back, Deckard. You're doing a good job there. This is going to kill Sergeant Bishop, but that's fine. I mean, we want to buy a bunch of new cool guys. Now, we are going to play this because what we want to be getting is money at the end. So I'm going to double your health, your damage, for the comedically over-the-top 22 damage attack. Again, he's not dying, they're going into the discard pile, and they will come back. There are things that just kill your guys. They burn them. I mean, it's like the guy has actually died. Thematically, it's just they're fighting, and then they fall back to the defensive position. They can't stay anymore. But there are things that just kill your guys, burn them. Alright, what did we get? Oh, Medical Shuttle. Not a good card. It's really expensive, and, like, what does a lot of AoE damage? Not a whole lot of things. If this costs 2, I might get it. But no.
Warning.
Let's see what we
New
got.
biosignatures
That's a lot
detected.
of money. Oh, I'd love to see.
Use
You'd love
of
to see it.
advanced troops authorized.
So the question is, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to draw a card. That is important to do. We have a Stormtrooper, so we can buy 2 things. I don't think we'll buy 2 things. Because we have a lot of direct damage, I think I might go with this Hyperion. Once per round, you may target an enemy. The next time that enemy is damaged, this troop deals that enemy 4 additional damage. That's really good. I think we'll grab that. A lot of people really like the Ajax battlesuits. They're good, but damage is usually not your issue at this point in the game. At this point in the game, you usually have enough damage to just sort of steamroll everything. And it's better to have things that just make fights not happen. Because there's a lot of things that are like, if they damage, you just kill the guy. Or if they damage and don't... and they survive. Or you know, it's more health is actually what is the problem in the late game, which is why being able to use the Titan armor is so good in this circumstance. We probably want to buy some Titan armor. Pulsar armor might help as well, but I'm not sure about that. I could buy 2 Titan armors. Ooh, that'd be pretty good. Though I still feel like maybe I want this. I'm really afraid of a lot of really bad reveal effects. because there are really bad reveal effects. But you can't say no to armor. Armor is just so good in this game. So I will not. I'll grab the armor. Okay, let's go with
Troops ready for deployment.
this. Now I would like to get,
Commander.
if I can upgrade the Hyperion, that would be really good. So we'll put him in the middle. And we'll put, you need to do extra damage. And 7's actually not great. Having it be 8 or more, there's a lot of things with 8 health. So I'll go with this. This guy will, you know, he'll do what he do. That's what he'll do. We have a bio enhancer that's pretty good.
Warning. Xeno life
We really
force
want to keep a lot of
detected.
guys alive. We have 8 health, so we can actually use. A lot of times you'll play games and you won't be able to use this ability. The once per game, you may kill one revealed enemy. If you do, the base suffers 4 damage. You obviously want to do that if you're going to take more than 4 damage. Burn the troop card in your discard pile. If any, this enemy gains additional power and HP equal to... Okay, do we have one of those? We do! So, Sergeant Hunter Killer is going to be Sergeant Hunter Dead, and there's nothing I can do to prevent that. Although I think, if I have this right, he will die first. We'll see if I'm wrong about this. That's how it worked last time. Yeah, so he still gets burned, but the tarantula will die. So we kill it before it powers up, but he still eats Sergeant Bishop, which is, you know... People die. This is war, after all. Okay, place this enemy at the end of the lane. Anytime a troop would be killed. That doesn't... So there's 2 reasons why we don't have to worry about this. The first reason is, I don't think this guy's going to die until this fight happens. And the second reason is, if it comes down to it, the Hyperion can just blow this guy up. And the Hyperion with the gun emplacement, really, really good. Because the problem with the Hyperion is you pick somebody and the next time they take damage, they take 4 additional damage. And it's like, okay, I've increased the damage, now how do I do the damage? Well, the way you do the damage is with the Hawkeye gun emplacement. The fun thing about this game is not the, okay, here's your strategy, here's your strategy, here's your strategy. And I'm talking about that a little bit. Is you have to look at what you've been given and figure out, okay, what's my strategy? And they really give you good tools with here. And this is why I prefer Onslaught over Dreadmire. Dreadmire... It's like your wave 1s are all really cool and really interesting, and they give you a lot of choices. Or, I think it was your wave 2s. Basically, everything else is just really bad. Like, when in the final wave, it's like, okay, this is the one unit I like using. In this, I'll use Stormtroopers, I'll use Medics, I'll use Paratroopers, I'll use Ajax Battlesuits, I'll use the Defender Suits, I'll use the Hyperions. They're all good. And for a while, I didn't buy Rangers until I realized how good it is and how important the early game is. Yeah, this is the way to play. Get just normal Xenoshift, buy the Nortec Elite expansion, and buy the Hive expansion. And that's really cheap. That's like $12, I think I spent on this. Or less if it's on iPhone. Okay, so we have a Hydra. So... I'm trying to think what the best way to do this is. And I think I figured it out. So, 4 and 4 is 8. But with the Bio Enhancer... that will not kill. So, we'll do this. I don't know why they don't have lore text there. You have enough room for it. Ooh, now this is an interesting choice. Do I shoot or do I not? And I don't, actually. And there's a couple reasons for that. But the main one is because I'm the President of the United States of America, to quote Dunkey again, as all low-level YouTubers must quote Dunkey at all times and at any opportunity that they can. Because why come up with your own creative information when you can steal from people far more skilled and successful than you? But the main reason is I don't actually want these guys to fight together, the Stormtrooper and the Necrostine Scorpion, because if he dies, the Necrostine Scorpion will infect him and then he'll become a thing. And that does happen even if he dies in the same turn. And so I think we're just going to nuke this guy from orbit. Yeah, which we will do. I love the animations on this. Man, this game is so good. Why are you guys not playing this game right now? Why are you watching a video on this? Go buy this game right now on the App Store, Steam. And yeah, so this Hydra comes back at 4 HP, and then the Stormtrooper will finish him off. And then our 2 really good units are still around, and you'll love to see that. You'll love to see when there's a full health Hyperion and more units are coming in, and yeah, this is when you start steamrolling in the game. And it's really fun. I like that you're able to do that. You get a bunch of turns and we're able to really kill. And there are some bosses that can still ruin your day when you think you're going to win. So, such a well-designed game. Okay, I am going to want to buy something. Since I'm going to go with a full stack, I do want to get an Ajax Battlesuit at this point. Especially since, you know, he'll be pretty low damage. He'll be pretty low damage. So having something that ups damage totally makes sense. So I have 6 left, and I have a, I guess I could go with this. Well, the problem is this sort of does the same effect as this guy. And so stacking that's not a huge gain. I guess I could get a medical shuttle if I really wanted to, but really I just want to get a pulsar armor might be useful. The nice thing about pulsar armor is you can use it to just not fight bosses, because pulsar armor is like it's like a heads-up display armor. It's like, for the troop that always needs to know what's just writhing around the corner. So yeah, it lets you look at a card and be like, do I want to fight this or do I want to not? Which I like. I like that it's like, this is the heads-up display armor. It's not as thick as this, but this has all these sensors and stuff in it for detecting enemies and avoiding them. And that's cool. I like that thematically. Usually a problem with deck-building games is that they're very unthematic. You know, they just sort of have a pasted-on theme. I feel like a lot of work went into making sure that the theme works for this. And yes, like all deck-building games, the expansions sort of took that theme and threw it out the window. And it's just like, magic powers in this one. You just have, he gets magic powers now. And it's like, okay, well that's thematically unanchored. But the base game, with the Hive and the Nortec expansion, very thematic. Let's see. I could buy that, and then I'd have 5 left. And then I could buy, like... 5's an awkward number. Okay, so I could get this and this. But I only want 1 piece of armor, so... I want this thing? What does this even do? Each time this troop is dealt damage, it may deal 3 damage to an revealed enemy. That's okay. It has this instant symbol, which means it can be played at any time. Oh, it does give health. Maybe I go with that. Yeah, and then I just get a cheaper armor. I'll give it a try. It's good to try new things. And then I could get a medical shuttle, but I really, really don't think that I need to. He's what, 4? And he has... I wish it would tell me the basic damage. Good grief. The basic HP there, so I know how much I can heal at. But I guess I'll just get one of these things. They're not bad. Vindicator armor is, well, this could really save my bacon. But, nah. Let's go with this. Yeah, and the reason I'm not getting this is because at this point the reveal effects are just like, it's not the damage effect that's the problem. So yeah, we'll throw all this out there. Deployment, Commander. We want to put the Ajax suit in front because when this guy kills a guy, everybody gets 2 power. Now that's once per round. We'll keep... So at this point is when they're going to start throwing things at us, where they're going to attack the back line, so I'll put some defense there. We want to keep him alive if we can. Although, actually, I think a better idea is using this and just plan for him to die. Because the thing about the Vindicator armor is you want to put it on somebody who's going to die, and he will probably die. And when he does, what is it, half of this total HP, so he'll do 4 damage to somebody, which is pretty good. As for this, he actually has better stats than this guy. Yeah, this hero's not very good. I mean, he totally saved my bacon this time, so I'm really not going to complain there. Now, the nice thing about this is that we can wait to play it, so we can choose when we want to play it. You still have a deployable in hand. It's an instant. I can play it at any time.
Life forms detected.
Okay, so we have a full stack. We got lots of mechs. Let's see what they can hit us with. And they may get us. Okay, here we go. Each time an effect would deal this enemy damage, deal the base 3 damage. So yeah, there's not a whole lot we can do about that. We could, if we wanted to, shoot him up. This is when, like, a medic would be nice. Oh, but we can save him with this. We play this. That gets him to 10. Then we play a bio-enhancer. That gets him to 11, and then he will survive the fight. And that is what we want to do. So that gets him down to 1. Now, we don't want to hit him, actually. In fact, we don't actually want to hit anyone with this effect. So we're going to cancel that effect, not play it, because if we did it to him, the bomber would bomb the base. We don't want to do that, because we're at 8 HP. Let's see what we have here. Okay, Death Spur. This is fine. He'll just attack and die. You want to kill Death Spurs in one go, because if you don't, they would do 6 damage to the base, and that is not good. If we couldn't avoid that, we would use our once per game ability to deal ourselves 4 damage to kill a guy, because 4 damage is less than 6. Haha, math, very important. So we'll just have this fight happen, and he has this extra damage because the battle suit, the Ajax battle suit, gave him the buff. Okay, this guy. Now he'll die here. So we won't be able to, unless, actually, no. I'm gonna do this. No, I don't want him to die. You will live. You will live, dang it, and we will just destroy you with overwhelming firepower. And the reason I'm doing this is because I want to use this ability. And I'm gonna spread this out, yeah, in case there's a sucker punch that kills one of these guys. I don't want to put all my eggs into this guy having all of my direct damage abilities. So they'll just shoot that. We're just gonna nuke him for more bit. Okay, deal the last 2 troops in lane 3 damage. Ooh, well that will kill this guy. So since he'll die, we'll go ahead and shoot. Now we have, so hopefully you can figure out who do we want to shoot. Well, not this guy because he has 5 HP. So we could do 2 damage here, 2 damage here. That would not kill him. Now it would kill this Hydra though, so that's what we'll do. We'll shoot this guy, which we can't do because he's revealed, and then we'll use this guy, shoot him. And then this guy's gonna die and this guy's gonna die, which is unfortunate, but can't be helped. This bioenhancer will only give 1, so it does that. He, because somebody died, gets angry, will shoot this man, and then this fight will happen, and we might as well do this. And this guy will survive. He's survived ever since round, like, 3. And yeah, every failed mission, every massacre, always the lone survivor. Indeed, he lived up to his flavor text this time. He doesn't always. And then we will do an unreasonable amount of extra damage, and then this would blow up anything remaining, and then this guy would shoot, and yeah. So...
Acquire your resources.
Oh, there's another round. Why did I think that was it? Well, that's why you always play to the most efficiency that you can. I have a ton of money here. So he'll need a gun. Yeah, 24 money. Oh my goodness. This is okay, yeah, this is where things start getting comedically good for us. We'll buy another Ajax, since we can just afford to buy, like, the moon. We'll need... so this guy will be decked out with that. This guy will need a gun. I guess we might as well get this. We'll need another thing. I'm gonna grab one of these. And then we'll get one of these. And we can afford this, so we'll get it. You know, we want as much armor as we can, and then I guess we'll get a med pack. Yeah, because we have all the damage we need. So unless I want to get one of these in hopes of we'll just damage our way through this.
Troops ready for deployment, Commander.
So yeah, this is when things are going to start getting a little silly. I will put this guy here. Put this here. Go with this because again they could attack from behind. This guy we want to be able to ensure kills. This ability, deal himself 3 damage to do plus 3 damage. It's not a great ability, but it is literally just better than the Titan armor. That's 4 damage, and that's 4 damage with an ability, and they both cost 4. So yeah, I feel really good about this. Let's see what they can hit me with, especially
detected.
since we're playing on normal and we don't get an extra card. All right, let's see what they have. Ooh, it's the boss, Eater of Hope. Burn 1 troop in the lane, chosen by owner. See how it's better to just have a thing that, like, keeps a bad thing from happening? I think we'll burn this guy. So we'll use his ability. And I think we'll just, yeah, I think we'll just like, kill him. Now, his reveal effect will still go off. And this guy will take damage, and then we'll shoot him as well. So now we have to eat a man, and we'll eat this man, which is unfortunate. So he wasn't the lone survivor this time, but he did his duty. We'll use a bioenhancer to keep him alive. And you always want to read abilities, because sometimes there are things like, oh, when this guy takes damage, deal damage to the base, and you want to be careful about that. Okay, this enemy gains 2 power for each troop in the lane when it is revealed. This enemy deals any damage exceeding a troop's HP to the next troop in the lane if there are... Ooh, okay, yeah, so this will be a problem. I don't think we can kill this guy. So what we want to do is, well, we can't, so 12 damage will go through, which means that it'll be 11. So we actually want to put a med pack on this guy. That'll go to 11 to 12. Yeah, he'll survive with 1 HP. So, yeah. So yeah, it'll do 1 damage to him and then 11 damage to him, so he'll survive with 1 HP. You hate to see it, but you can't really do anything about it. And this is showing I probably should have used this guy's gun emplacement instead of this guy's, because now we're going to lose this effect. I mean, I could do 2 damage to him, but we actually don't want to do that. Because it would do literally nothing, and it would be great if we could shoot this guy, but again, you can only shoot revealed guys with that card. So, we'll just take this damage. And yeah, if we had only 1 guy left, that would be huge, because it would spill over into the base. So enemy damages a troop, burn that troop, and deal the base 3 damage. We can take 3 damage. Just to show you how this works, and for the memes, I will do this to just blow him up, because I can. So boom, there he is. And we keep both of our assault batteries alive. Or unretreated, I should say.
No Xeno life forms detected in the perimeter. Mining operation successful.
And that's how you win on normal. And yeah, don't get cocky at the end. Obviously, the bosses we had trouble with. And that was, I would say, a pretty hard set of equipments. We didn't get any stim packs. We didn't get any spark rifles. We didn't get anything that countered reveal effects. And we were still able to win. So if I could win with this honestly pretty bad setup, yeah, these would have been great to get early. Then you can too. And you can also have Godspeed.